Hi, I am Slippery Chris Swerleone, and I am here to teach you how to win big at the track. Actually, you can't win big at the track, and I won't be talking about that at all. I'm going to be talking about something awfully different. Actually, I will be talking about the splitting of worlds, what to expect on December 21st, 2012. I'll be talking about duality, ascension, and oneness, and I'm really Dr. Brian Chrissy of granite-planet.net. So what is this about 12/21/2012? End of the world or something? Is this the moment that we cross the galactic plane? Perhaps. And what is this about 11:11 that you've seen on your digital clocks? That is the time, Greenwich Mean Time, of the winter solstice for December 21st, 2012, when everything lines up. There are some large periods of time and cycles involved in these questions. One is the 25,800 year precession cycle of the Earth, where the North Pole paints out a big circle in the sky, returning to the same point every 25,800 years. Divide that period into the 12 houses of the zodiac, and you get 2,150 years per great age. There are four great ages that have passed recently: Gemini, Taurus, Aries, and now Pisces. Pisces, lasting 2,150 years, lasted from about 138 BC to 2012. Today, we see the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the fifth age, which is now coming into power. This is the turning of the ages. So, are we crossing the galactic plane? We circle the center of the Milky Way every quarter billion years or so. We pass through the galactic plane every 32 million years. Scientists say we may have passed through the plane 3 million years ago. So what do we have here? Perhaps it's a symbolic crossing from darkness into light, from the Pisces age of darkness into the Aquarian age of lightness. We will consider this a symbolic crossing, December 21st, 2012. Let's review some ancient prophecies. The Mayan calendar and what it portends, the Hopis with their fourth world and fifth world, the Lakotas and their rainbow warriors, and the condor and eagle from the Amazon. The Hopis have a prophecy stone that shows three preceding worlds. There is a two-hearted path where people thought only with their heads, and their path ends with a lightning stroke at the top. The fourth figure in this diagram at the bottom faces the choice point, where a decision must be made between what the Hopis call the fourth world and the fifth world. The fourth world of the Hopis is all too familiar to us, characterized by unsustainable greed, competition, inequitable distribution of wealth and comfort. The Hopis expected this world to fail and disintegrate about now. On the other hand, if the world took the decision point to go towards what they call the fifth world, they would find a new existence devoid of any of the perils and torments of the past, a world that's now possible for all souls dwelling on earth. This is the time the Hopis called the fifth world. But what about the Mayan calendar? We all know that most people think that it ends December 21st, 2012. Perhaps that's the end of the world. Is that the end of time? What is that? Quilda, whose new book is called So We're Still Here, Now What?, explains the Mayan calendar and the prediction of the end of the world a little differently. Here is her diagram of the Mayan pyramid, where each of the 9 tiers has 13 alternating blocks of day and night. At the bottom tier, each of the days, each of the nights takes about 1.26 billion years. The next tier up, each block takes 63 million years, and so on up until the top. At the very top, the end of days, where we've just gone past the 9th tier, where the blocks are taking 20 days each, it now comes to the end of days, where time is passing so fast that no one can keep up. Quilda sees the current transition as going from the long dark into the long light. This is just another transition, one of many that we have gone through in our history. Looking at her pyramid structure in a different way, she stacks an inverted pyramid on top of the other one and sees that we go through a moment of unity, and then we begin anew. It's not the end of time, it's just a change. The Lakotas, Plains Indians, have a prophecy of the Rainbow Warriors. They say that at one point the earth will sicken and the animals and plants will begin to die. Then the Indians will regain their spirit and join with people of all nations, colors, and beliefs to be rainbow warriors, to fight and save the earth. Many of us have experienced past lives as Indians. Are we some of the rainbow warriors? Lynn Twist spent many years with the Achuar people of the Amazon, who have a prophecy that says that in the beginning all people were one, but then they split into the eagles, who became scientific and intellectual, and the condors, who became natural and intuitive, but both would one day find their existence threatened. The eagles would be tremendously wealthy but spiritually impoverished, while the condors would be highly intuitive and spiritual but materially impoverished. Both would be threatened. Now is the time that the eagles and condors will reunite, remembering that they are one people. Now they fly together in partnership and collaboration. Neither can survive without this collaboration. From this partnership comes a new consciousness that will create a sustainable future for all. Angel Rose O'Grady has a special gift of being able to read the Akashic records, where records of all things past and present are recorded. She's been asked about the indigo children and other special children who are coming in at this time, and this is what she has found out about the indigo children. They are very pure and innocent. They have much knowledge and wisdom. They're very sweet and pure in spirit, and they giggle and laugh. They show pure love, joy, playfulness, and creativity. They have boundless self-expression. And they've been coming to Earth for the last 50 to 100 years to help accelerate our evolution. Another group of children that are coming in at this time are called the crystal children, such as Jessica Schaub, shown here. They have completely different harmonic frequencies than the indigos, and each soul carries a unique sound tone. They have more harmonics turned in. They have greater gifts of creativity, especially in music, sports, and invention and in physical biology. But the indigos had to come first to set the foundation for them and do the hard work to prepare the way for the crystal children to come. Angel Rose O'Grady also talks about the rainbow children. These are holy children from far outside our galaxy. They are like little avatars. Not many are here yet, because our consciousness must rise to receive them. They are very advanced in personal mastery. They anchor peace into the planet, and they help us ascend into the collection of planets that function under the Christ principle. Do we remember one thing that Jesus said? No greater love hath a person than to lay down his life for another. Can you imagine that some of these special children could be so personally advanced as to volunteer to incarnate here on this violent planet, perhaps for only a short period of time, 5 or 6 years, just to play an important role in some tragic event? A tragic event that in time would cause people of this nation to rise up and say enough, and thus lead us towards a violence-free world? Is that possible? A section of A Time of Change that surprised me was the autistics. Angel Rose O'Grady says that the Akashic records say that the autistics are from beyond the Pleiades, but still in our galaxy. They are telepathic, here to teach us how to communicate more intimately with all life. They are beings of light, but their souls are still learning. Many have lived many lives in other dimensional spaces, and most have spent time on Sirius, the Pleiades, and Arcturus. Can you imagine that one of these special children could be so personally advanced as to volunteer to incarnate here on this violent planet, perhaps for only a short span of 20 years, just to play a difficult role in some tragic event? A tragic event that in time would cause people of this planet to rise up and say enough, and thus lead us towards a violence-free world. Is that possible? There are also the golden children, according to the Akashic records. They are not here yet. They are made of golden light. They are direct aspects of Source. They look like they have halos, but they're not here for another 10 or 20 years. They are very masterful souls. 12-21-12 cannot be the end of the world. Why would these special children be coming here if there were no future here? December 21st may not be the end of the world, but change is coming. We see it in three phases: transition out of the fourth world, transformation of the world here at 1221, and transmutation of the energies and vibrations of the world. Drunvalo Melchizedek has worked with these concepts for a long time. This diagram is a Merkabah, a double interpenetrating tetrahedron, which is a soul ascension vehicle. We'll see more of that later. In Drunvalo's view of 2012, everything breaks down at this point. The magnetic field collapses, consciousness shifts, and the Earth's axis shifts. He expects 3D objects to disappear and fourth dimensional objects to show up in 3 dimensions. He suggests we get outside in a natural place. And he expects a split. Folks who are not resonant with the new energies will be gone, and the resonant ones remain. Greg Braden says that humanity must change at this point, but not panic. He says 2012 is a decision point between ages in a long line of world ages which our ancestors experienced and recorded. He says the climate change that we are experiencing is not due to humans abusing the planet, but is a normal Earth cycle. But we cannot keep abusing Mother Earth and wasting our resources. He says we are currently at a tipping point where if we can get maybe a square root of 1% of the world's population, or 144,000 people together raising their energies and thinking in a better way, we will tip over into a better world, the world that the ancients called the fifth world. Craig Braden says we're living in the last years of a cycle that began in 3114 BC. People who are not aware of our natural cyclic nature see the earth as broken, but it's not. Our systems are stressed, and those that are not sustainable will collapse, namely the ones where someone benefits at others' expense. He says we're facing 2 possible outcomes, one life-affirming, one dark. We can prop up the old or embrace the new. It's a choice point. Barbara Marciniak, in her book Bringers of the Dawn, Teachings from the Pleiadians, says that now is a most fortunate time to be alive. The future will tell great tales about what it was like to be alive on Earth during this time of unfolding multidimensional mysteries. She sees 2012 as a kernel wherein we can create a new world. Ervin Laszlo, one of the greatest thinkers of our age, says that we are the first generation that can decide whether we will be the last, and the first generation to decide whether we will begin a new phase in history. He sees what he calls a global bifurcation between 2 paths coming. The first path, need we say anything about it? Business as usual, no real change in how we do things, drought, refugees, war, fragmentation, terror, famine, and eventually global collapse and the end of the human race. The second path he calls timely transition. A nucleus of concerned people rapidly grows. New leaders confront the dangers. There's a shift to renewable energy and away from war. A voluntarily self-regulating social market economy is put in place. Ashiana Dean, in her 2002 book Voyagers, The Secrets of the Mente, see 3 tracks for us to choose from at this point: the Voyagers Ascension of 2012, Bridge Zone 2017, and the Phantom Earth Descending. On the right there, you see the pictures of the faces of the Guardian Alliance. These are our friends that she is working with. If their appearance disturbs you, I suggest you try to get over it, for that is a form of cosmic racism. Inside each one of them is a spark of God, just like the spark of God inside of you and inside of me. We are one. These are our friends. The Phantom Earth Descending. Need we say anything more? Major Earth changes, disruptions, interference by intruders, genetic mutations, decline in fertility, a dead-end Earth, and in time, the human line dies out. In the second path that Ashiana Dean sees in the Voyagers book is the Voyagers Ascension at 2012. Here, the Guardian Alliance has raised the Earth's vibrations to a new height, unseen in 26,556 years. Tara is a higher vibrational version of Earth, some 5,500 years forward from us. Tara lives by the law of one. Those who are ready go to Tara right now. They are the Voyagers. The third path that Ashanadine sees is the Bridge Zone Jump 2017. Those who are prepared by that time jump to Tara at that point. Populations group by vibrational level. Groups fall out of perceptual range of each other, and we choose our path now. John Hornecker's new book, Quantum Transformation, sees a splitting of New Earth and Old Earth on December 21st, 2012. He sees an ascension plan of 7 waves that take us from our 3-dimensional form into the 5th dimension. He says we take our bodies with us, specifying the age and quality of the bodies at the time that we want to get into them. And he works with a group called the Intergalactic Federation, somewhat like the Guardian Alliance. Hornecker sees converging timelines. Timeline 1 being the ascension and new consciousness that we are very aware of now. Timeline 2 being one where the power elite remains in control. He sees these timelines coming together until December 21st, 2012, when they converge, and only one emerges from the other side. So December 21st, 2012 becomes a choice point. Hornecker sees 7 waves of ascension, taking us from 3rd to 5th dimension. The first wave, including about 1,400 folks, is going on right now, and those folks are going to 5th dimension. There's a second wave he sees, even bigger, that occurs over the last 2 weeks of December of 2012. And the other waves are spread out till 2017. There's that date again. Michael Quincy, going by the name Salusa of Sirius, runs the Tree of Golden Light site and gives out much interesting information from an off-planet Sirian point of view. Salusa says that 1221 will be the first time mass ascension has been attempted, and it will succeed, as it is in the hands of powerful beings that do the will of God. He suggests that you follow your intuition, maintain peace and calm, stay balanced. You may have feelings of unease, let them pass. Barbara Marx Hubbard, one of the great minds of the age, is trying to assemble 100 million people to celebrate the birth of a new world on December 22nd. Here are some of those that she has assembled. Patricia Cota Robles is one of the leading spiritual masters on the planet at this time. She says the only reason potential negative outcomes are shown through prophecy is to show us what will occur if we continue our current behavior. Prophecies inspire us to change our behavior to avert potential negative outcomes. If those potentially negative outcomes occur, the prophecy is a failed prophecy because it failed to help us avert the disaster. We are all familiar with the Armageddon prophecy in Revelation, that people should kill one another and that 1/4 of the population of the earth should be killed with the sword and hunger and death by the beasts and so on. Awful things. But in context of what Patricia Cota Robles has said, if these prophecies do come true, they will be failed prophecies, for they did not succeed in altering our behavior to avoid the prophesied outcome. Patricia Cota Robles talks about laggards. She says the soul of every recalcitrant earthling who was in danger of not making the shift to the new earth has made the subconscious decision to do what is necessary to clear their karmic liabilities to move forward in the light, whether or not their fear-based, fragmented human ego is consciously aware of that fact or not. This is good news. She goes on to talk about grace. She says recalcitrant souls who do not clear their karmic liabilities before they leave the physical plane will be taken to the inner schools of learning in the new earth to complete their transmutation. Then they will join the rest of us in the new earth. The Company of Heaven said, "This is the greatest act of divine grace ever rendered to the fallen sons and daughters of God by the cosmic I Am, all that is, our Father, Mother God." So, it's about oneness. As a result of this miracle of grace, the 2 earths have become one. This means that every man, woman, and child is moving forward with the new earth. No one is going to be left behind. We are all one earth, all one people, oneness. The Native Americans used the phrase the Star Nations to refer to all those off-planet beings with whom they have had relationships for many thousands of years. The Star Nations have put out a message to humanity at this point, saying that we're beginning a new great age. A new race of beings is being created. Our junk DNA will be switched on and off and changed. We're being upgraded. And we, being the Star Nations, will come in such numbers that no nation will be able to deny us. If the Star Nations are coming here in great numbers to help us in this transition, where is the evidence that they are here, that they are observing us, that they are talking to us? Where is that evidence? If the Star Nations have been here for a long time, perhaps they have left some messages for us. Here are Pleiadian crop circles from 2002 to 2012. Beautiful, graceful patterns, especially the one in the middle right there, the global healing mandala. The Arcturians have been here too. Here are 9 from the same period of time. All of these have been decoded by Angel Rose O'Grady, so we know who made them, what they're for, and why they put them here. If you survey the formations from 2002 to 2011, according to who made them, you see that most of them are Pleiadian and Arcturian. Some are Mayan, some are Andromedan, some Syrian, but the predominance is Pleiadian and Arcturian. Now look at what has happened in the summer of 2012. These are crop circle formations from this past summer. Look at the one in the middle. That's a little different. Looks like spaceships or something. And the one in the bottom left, what is that? Done by the Sun People. And the bottom right one, that's looking down on Drunvalo Melchizedek's Merkabah. The top one spinning one way, the bottom one spinning the other way. This is about a personal ascension model of some kind. This is a tool. Who's doing these? Are they different? Look at the analysis. Most of them are being done by new people who have not been doing these before. Star Collective, Bird Races, Arcturian, Star Nebula, Sun People, Ursa Major. This is evidence that they are here. Not only did they say they are coming, but they are here, and we have evidence to show that. Perhaps there is further evidence of this shift. If it was really happening, we would see some evidence. Of course we would. The Fifth World Journal for 20 years has been recording this planet's progress from the fourth into the fifth world. In its final issue, before it becomes the Sixth World Journal, documenting our next change, it published 2 articles that show such evidence. The first article in the Fifth World Journal about this issue is titled How to Rig an Election, published just before the 2012 presidential elections. It pointed out to those that are interested that in key battleground states like Ohio, the 2012 voting machines were manufactured by corporations that were heavily donating to the Romney campaign. So the door was open for abuse, perhaps back doors that could be accessed by people with passwords to change the reported vote. So what happened? The election came and went. The votes were apparently recorded accurately, and Obama was reelected. The second article is titled Rove. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. What happened? When the moment came to push the button and steal Ohio, passwords had been changed by anonymous hackers. Nothing worked. The election was not stolen, and Rove melted down on Fox News. The world has changed. More evidence is that money no longer buys elections. Linda McMahon lost the Connecticut senatorial race despite spending $97 million of her own money. Karl Rove spent $400 million and lost most of the races he tried to buy. And they're off. The big race is on to 12/21/2012, post-time 11/11. Who's going to win? End of time, end of the world, new world, fifth world, fourth world? What are the odds? Nobody knows, but this man is selling tickets. End of the world, odds 2-1, global warming 4-1, ascension 1,000-1. What are you going to do? So what can we conclude? We can conclude that we are the change. We follow our hearts, we use our brains, we made the grade, we passed the test. We made our choice as a planet. We are all one. We are one, we manifest our reality, we choose our future. We choose to ascend with planet Earth and all its life in unity with all it is. And so it is. Thank you for listening.